This is an experiment targeting phenomena of electrochemistry. For the purpose of this experiment, the group has chosen to use copper as the cathode and anode electrodes. Using adequate tooling, the electrodes were cut to the required dimensions. A motor was connected to a 5-volt DC transformer. The steerer was sketched, then drawn on Inventor and 3D printed. Any necessary fittings for the steerer and electrodes was also 3D printed. As preparation for the experiment, gloves were worn at all times, and all the apparatus and electrodes were cleaned from any impurities. The beakers and the 1-liter flask were first cleaned with dish soap and deionized water. After drying, these were cleaned again using sodium hydroxide solution and boiling deionized water, and were then placed in an ultrasonic cleaner for 15 minutes. The steering was cleaned in acetone and rinsed in deionized water. The copper electrodes, on the other hand, were first submerged in concentrated acetic solution, so as to expose the parent metal underneath the oxide layer. This, however, was not followed by rinsing of deionized water, because doing so would reoxidize the copper and also form cupric hydroxide. The electrodes were then dabbed with clean cloths to remove excess acetic acid. This was done in less than 1 minute, so as to preserve the free oxide surface required. After being cleaned, measuring and filling of the beakers was carried out. Each was filled with exactly 1 liter of deionized water, using the measuring flask for adequate accuracy. In 3 of these beakers, 0.5 mole of sodium chloride was dissolved in solution, and in the last beaker, 1 mole of sodium chloride was dissolved in solution. A tub was filled with tap water, and the beakers with solution were placed inside it. Care was taken so as not to spill the solution from inside the beakers. This was done so as to achieve temperature stability. 2 multimeters, one set as a voltmeter in parallel and the other set as an ammeter in series, were connected to the electrodes using single-strand copper wire. After all the cleaning and connection of the electrodes, the apparatus was set up and a salt bridge was placed between the beakers to complete the circuit. The salt bridge was made out of filter paper soaked in 26.3% concentration of sodium chloride in deionized water. Then, the voltage was recorded every few seconds to produce an accurate graph. First, both electrodes were submerged in the 0.5 mole solution, and after several minutes the motor was switched on and a new set of readings were taken. The same experiment was then carried out for the 1 mole solution. After all the data was collected and the experiment was over, the electrodes were placed under the optical microscope in order to observe their surface and understand the occurrences that happened during this experiment. Thanks for watching.